Am I saying something?
Check, check, check.
No, they're steamed hams. This is Corey, and this is the Anthem podcast. On that early Simpson shit. Yeah, thank you for listening on your podcast of choice. The easiest way, anchor.fm/o the anthem. We are recording this, our usual Monday record. But this is the week before Thanksgiving, and there's lots of Thanksgiving stuff to talk about. So I thought we'd get right into that. I do. Something is different from this Thanksgiving from last. So one one more little mouth to feed is basically um so real quick, apologies to anyone who's listening. Rob's microphone seems to be freaking out slightly. Yeah, it's doing that like clipping thing again. No, it's okay.
I'm still muted. Okay, it was getting my mic through Zoom instead of my mic from my mic. So is that better?
It still happened, but let's see what's going on.
Okay.
Maybe try not to scream.
Okay. I'll back up if I have to scream. Anyway, Rachel is eating for two because the baby's not going to eat any turkey.
Yeah,
maybe a little.
She can't have solid food yet, so maybe next year we can put her in her NutriBullet. We can give her like a little stuffing shake.
Listen. So like 7-8 months is when that starts to happen. Just so you know.
When they start to eat food.
Yeah, solid food. Yeah.
Okay. So she'll be good for next Thanksgiving. She can have a little plate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we can start
some of that stuff at the very least.
Listen, we can start a kids table. We'll put Roberto over there, the baby, and I mean that's basically it. They can have like their own little like Lady in the Tramp moment, and we'll all the adults will be at the big table.
That's assuming that Roberto's in town for that period of time.
We'll get to that. So before that, of course, with Thanksgiving, our warmest wishes to you and yours, and also, can we stop using the word Friendsgiving? We're the senior millennials, the geriatric millennials are telling you, I prefer to do Thanksgiving with my friends over my family. If there's a Nazi at the table, I don't have to guess. It's Corey, of course. I'm not related to him, so I don't have to feel bad about it. And I just everybody's like pushing these Friendsgiving things. I'm like, listen, you had turkey, you had stuffing. It's a bunch of people. That's Thanksgiving. It's okay. Okay.
I've gone along with it in the past, but I also don't understand why you're losing the thanks to put in the friends.
Yeah. Wasn't the first Thanksgiving just a bunch of friends? Like none of them were related.
They were none of it. Yeah. I don't know how much relation was at that table. It always takes me back to one of my favorite Thanksgiving jokes ever. And of course, if it's one of my favorite jokes ever, it came from King of the Hill. Where Dale asked John Redcorn whether or not if the Indians ever celebrated Thanksgiving, and he replies merely, "Yes, once." Mic drop. So,
But warmest wishes to you and your Thanksgiving celebrations. Eat lots of turkey. Tryptophan is not really what's making you tired. It's because you ate 4 times what you would usually eat in a meal. That's why you're tired. But Thanksgiving, I try to make it a happy time of year. I try. But y'all are ruining it. That's really what I want to say.
Go on.
It started last year. And you know what? Here's the problem. I get the tobacco companies now. I get the gun companies. Because I said, you know what? You're right. We're in the midst of a pandemic. If it makes people happy, let's start celebrating Christmas in September. I don't care. Last all year. It's been a tough year. But you give them a fucking inch and they take a mile. And this year, pandemic's over, apparently. 700 people dead per day. But
yeah, by the way, we've passed the number of people who died in 2019 or 2020 of COVID deaths in 2021. So
weird how that happened. Yeah. Well, we got a 2-month head start this year, Corey, so it makes sense. All the months were COVID months. But Christmas decorations were out at Halloween. And when I saw the first, I don't really go to Walmart, so it was at CVS. When I saw the first thing pop up, I said, all right, listen, I get it. You're overstocked from last year because nobody bought anything. People weren't coming in the store. So it's okay. Stick it out a little early. But then the music started. And the whole thing has just erupted. And I just keep looking at people like, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. I am surprised, Corey. I think that if there was not an infant in your house, there would be a tree in your house.
I think if there wasn't a me in my house, there would be a tree in my.
Well, also, we did throw
the
away
infant
the tree.
is not the.
So you'd have to go get another one.
No, we just told her that we did that.
Oh, that's right.
And then
right.
The only time we ever talk about it is here on the podcast, so we know she'll never find out.
Oh, she's never gonna hear it. No.
She'll never. She would know that the Christmas tree is in storage if she listened to the podcast, but she didn't. So there we go.
But yeah, so you think even if there was an infant, but there wasn't a Corey, that there would be a tree up?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember years threatening her that if I saw the tree before Black Friday,
December 1st. Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah. I think you were the first. I had to give a little bit, I think, because we had a weekend that was the end of Thanksgiving, the end of November. Like the 30th was on a Sunday. She's like, well, but if I don't put it up this weekend, it can't be up till next weekend. So I gave, and then now it's Black Friday. I said I was going to throw it on the freeway if I saw it, and yeah, I'm surprised. I think that has tried to curb her enthusiasm, if you will, for the holiday. I also think it focuses it to just those couple of weeks. And you're all I want to be giving in this time of year. I want to say, if it makes you happy, do it. But at what point does my happiness around Halloween and Thanksgiving and it being ruined by your Christmas nonsense, when do those two things like equal out? When is it okay? I feel like giving you the whole stuff. Listen, my mom's birthday is on the 22nd. Growing up, we didn't have a tree in our house till the 23rd because it was, we're going to celebrate my birthday and then Christmas starts. For me, the first is huge.
In my household, the tree was gotten right before Christmas, like probably 23rd or 24th.
Was it your dad cursing like oh, it's the day before. You think they'd cut the trees? It'd be a discount.
We go and look at the one sad tree left in the lot. Bucky the Wonder Tree.
I'm a little surprised it isn't like a discussion at the Baker household. Like, it's the 26th. I feel like we should have a tree.
Well, really, honestly, it's probably like we just like all at one point we just like look at a clock. Well, look at a phone and be like, we go like, oh shit, it's the 23rd. You think we should get on this tree thing? It's just like, oh yeah, it is pretty close to Christmas.
Yeah, Corey leaves his bedroom for the first time in a year, and he's like, "Oh, what? It's still up. It's still up from last year. We're good."
Well, I mean, normally it's up. It's our Valentine's Day tree as well, because if you're gonna wait till the last minute to put it up, of course you're gonna wait until February to take it down. So
absolutely, and
it
really,
only makes sense.
You just have to have it down by St. Pat's because you don't want drunk people stumbling around with a Christmas tree. That's really the thing. Starting
fires.
But yeah, y'all stop ruining it. Just give me this week. I'm flexing the.
I mean, like, I agree. I sort of think that holidays should be the stages between different You know, like I think holidays are traditionally seen as the opportunities to decorate.
Yeah.
So like think about like if you went to Macy's or Disney World or something, you know, like to some crazy family member's house who has all the ornaments out in the yard, right?
Yeah.
You would think like there's a known holiday becomes the reason to dress up your entire yard, looking up like something.
Yep. Turkey.
I think that Thanksgiving is a reasonable one, and then as soon as Thanksgiving is over, you can transition into the Christmas stuff.
Yep.
But the Christmas before Thanksgiving, I just can't.
So
It's a step too far. I
to-
agree.
not to
I think
stomp on
that's
your-
the.
not to stomp on your point, Corey, but Disney is a bad example because
Are
Magic
they
Mountain,
already doing the Disney stuff?
Magic
Christmas
Mountain
stuff?
and Disney started their Christmas stuff on the 15th. So.
I mean, I guess there's not really a way that you can make Disney do Thanksgiving stuff. You know, like what? How could they festively theme it for Thanksgiving? You know, like.
Well, and I think that was it, right? The week that they took down Halloween, they just started putting up Thanksgiving as well.
Maybe the CVS is the right idea because CVS always has to have the up-to-date holidays
Right.
available, you know, so you can go into CVS and hastily get a fucking poster that says Happy Thanksgiving on it.
Yep.
And spend $15 on that item. You know, it's for they should just be up until the moment Thanksgiving is over, they should have the Thanksgiving stuff up and then immediately transition into Christmas. Like,
Which is what they do. Christmas comes early, but they do keep Thanksgiving up at least all the way through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If it's like, oh, your family's coming last minute, like Friday, you can grab a Thanksgiving theme and come bring it to your house. But the worst thing, worse than Thanksgiving, is Black Friday. Because I've always found it ironic that we spend all day stuffing ourselves with turkey and stuffing. And if you're a disgusting subhuman, cranberry sauce. Otherwise, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, all the good carbs. It's got to have carbs in it. Cranberry sauce, not a carb. It's a sugar. I don't want to argue about it. But nonetheless. And then a mere few hours later, we go stomp out a stranger to get a thing that we want that we don't have right now. And I never understood that. Never understood it.
I've never been one to listen. I'm not waking up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning for any goddamn person unless they're paying me. That's the difference between whether or not I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm gonna ask you about that next year. I'll ask you about that next year. We'll see how you feel.
If I'm getting on a flight or like there's a crisis immediately around my person, I will get up before 5 a.m. for something. But now, like
next year, we're going to be able to do our Black Friday live. Corey is outside the Target waiting in line at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That audio is terrible. I'm sorry for anyone. I don't know what's going on. I think Zoom might have updated something that is making that happen. But
possibly. But no. When you're standing outside of Target at 4 a.m. to get the toy that Rachel insists that you have for your daughter next year.
Rocket Man.
Yeah, when you get a Rocket Man. Yeah.
Well, that was the one in Jingle All the Way, right?
Turbo Man. Yep.
That's right. Yeah, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I may pick something up if I see a compelling deal or something. I might go in at some point. I'm not the type of person who's gonna wake up early and try and find, you know, like the four blenders that are being sold for $50 this day only because they have a crazy doorbuster. You know, like that's not me. I don't care that much. But you know, if you're going to have plenty of something that I need and you're going to sell it at a discounted rate, I'll buy something on Black Friday. I'm just not gonna like
from the safety of your home.
Yeah, or at the very least, like pick it up. But like I'm not gonna curb stomp somebody to get a Nintendo Switch. That's just not part of my. That's not how I feel about it.
We'll give it a couple years. We'll wait and see. Because here's what I tell you: I am now 3 years out hence from where you are. It's baby's fourth Christmas, not baby's first Christmas, and I find myself in the enviable position of I'm gonna have to go sit at a fucking Target. Although maybe not, because here's the money doesn't matter. I don't care about the $50 I'm going to save on Black Friday. If I can go pick it up now, I'm going to go pick it up now. But my nephew, want to get him a Switch. I went to the Target, my local Target here, Target Sunset Superstore, and they didn't have any. And I went online and saw it, and I'm like, they're holding back for Black Friday. I get it, but It's very frustrating.
I just think it's it's a bit, I just think to you telling Mac like, hey, I got you this for Christmas, and he opens it up. He's like, oh my god, a Switch, and it's just like I paid full price for that. I didn't even go through Black Friday stuff for that thing. So that's how much I love you.
First of all,
It was worth the extra $50.
I don't need to do that because it is at the point now at my sister's house that she must arrive home at the same time that Mac does. It used to be that somebody might drop him off and like stay and stay at the house and watch him at the house.
Leave him on that stoop.
Yeah, listen, at his age, I was almost ready to walk home from school and key myself in and get my sister a snack. So I mean, listen, we're mature early. The Cheek Boys, we mature early. But he thinks that every package that comes to the house is for him because Uncle Rob buys him so many things that appear at the house in packages from Amazon or wherever. So my sister can't get like a pair of pants delivered to the house because Maxim will have ripped the package open and be very disappointed that they were pants that don't fit him.
Man, it's unbelievable. At this age, he's committing mail fraud.
I know. I
mean,
he's way ahead of the curve. I am so proud.
You gotta
tell him.
You gotta tell him to knock it off.
But yeah. So the thing is, the only rule I have, I'm happy to pitch in on a Santa gift. But if he gets something on Christmas morning, the Switch, for example, ain't from Santa. It's from Uncle Rob. Just so we know. We know who to say thank you to. I think the Santa thing is ridiculous. So none of that. That's my only rule. I'm never going to tell him how much I spend. It's a lot. Jackson, if you're ever listening.
Maybe put yourself in the hypothetical that you have a child of your own.
Yes.
And they're of gift giving age, but they're also Santa age, right?
Yes.
How many of the gifts do you imagine are going to be put as by Santa as opposed to by mom or dad or whatever? Like, like
one gift.
One gift is the Santa gift?
Yep. Because then if he or she
it's like the big
school,
one that they
Nope, not the big one. Nope. Daddy bought the bike. Daddy bought the $9,900 bike. I want them to go to school and talk about a thing that Santa gave him. Great. But for those who are less fortunate, who only got one thing from Santa, this helps even the tables. Like, yeah, Rob, let's be honest, his name would be Rob. His name would be Rob.
Or Roberto.
I mean, depending. Katya, I'm open to Roberto. I'm just letting you know. If it's not too much, it might be bad memories. I don't know. Point being, I want him to know that, listen, you got all of these things, but that's because daddy and mommy got you all these things. Santa, he likes you. He got you one thing, but we really like you. We got you more things. And that way, when somebody else he knows gets two gifts, one from mom and dad, one from Santa. Well, we all got one from Santa, right? Like, that's what Santa does. And mom and dad buy the rest of them. Also, I would accompany it with a card that said, your mom's a bitch. She was weak in pussy. Had you to keep me. It worked out, unfortunately, but I still love you. Dad.
Here is a present.
Yes, basically. Yeah, because the only time, and let's be honest, if that is a situation, I have a child who is gift giving age, they're going to receive that present in the form of child support monthly. You're
gonna buy them a card from 500 Days of Summer.
Or I mean, realistically,
I'm proud of you every day, but today you get a card.
Realistically, he'd get his mom's gift through the mail because, knowing my history and my experience with women, ain't no judge in the world gonna give any of the women that I choose to have sex with a child. They're gonna be like, Mr. Cheek, we have some additional children. Could we give you custody of your child and a couple of these other ones in the courtroom? And I will say, yes, absolutely. I'll take all.
A couple laying around the courtroom.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you were here for the case before you, but we had two real pieces of shit I had to choose between. So I'm going to give you custody of your kid, but I'm going to need you to take custody of that one too, because I don't trust either of those motherfuckers.
All right. So you're going to pick up some children on Black Friday, right?
I guess I'm picking up extra kids on Black Friday. And speaking of the extra kids I have to buy gifts for, Roberto, friend of the show, former producer, sometimes producer, is finally returning from his 90-day sojourn. I mean, clearly, he's been through a lot. He had to work through the entire pandemic, not just from home, but from an office. And he really needed to take the time off. Listen, he had all that paid vacation built up from his job, or maybe Yob. I don't know. It might be soft J. I don't have one, so I'm not aware. But he decided he was going to go to Mexico for 45 days, enjoy the sun, enjoy being with his family. I can only assume suckling at his mother's teat once again, as he likes to do. And he's finally returning, and so I'm very happy. That I'm giving thanks that Roberto is returning in time for our meal on Thursday. Anything you'd like to add, Corey?
No, I'm really excited to have Roberto back. I don't know if there's anything else to add other than that.
I don't know, because you brought a dog home, and he started threatening to beat the dog with a newspaper, and I'm very concerned about him being around a child.
I'm ready to learn everything that's different about child rearing in Mexican culture as opposed to what I have learned. It's just like just the differences between what I knew, which is very limited, mind you. I didn't have a lot of children around me.
You don't say. Okay.
And what Rachel knew, and like how there seems to be like a Dundalk spirit to child raising.
Corey, take the Mountain Dew. Take the Mountain Dew out of the bottle.
I'm sure there's something in there. I'm sure there's like different things that happen in every culture, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated to see like what Roberto comes home like, like at some point it's gonna be like Casey needs to burp, and he's gonna be doing some like trapeze like gymnastics routine where he's like flipping her around and she's burping up a storm. Be like, wow, this is way different than I thought you were supposed to softly, like just pat them on the back until eventually they gave up. But this is a whole new way of.
I thought you were going to say you wanted to learn the differences between raising a Mexican child and a American child, as in you've been raising Roberto for the last 3 years and now you have a baby.
Now I have to set him free.
Listen, you're 24. It's time for you to leave the nest.
Get off my insurance.
Listen, there is a lovely woman here who would like to build a life with you. Why would you not want that? I mean, listen, he can keep messing around. All I'm saying is I'm making plans. She's making plans. Sometimes they'll be the same plans on the same place in the same day. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Hey, I want her.
All right. Moving on to our courtroom drama from last week.
I'm trying to start some courtroom drama right now. Come on now.
I'm just waiting for the moment where it's just like, yo, shut the fuck up in the group chat, and I'm just like,
it will be.
I'm in the popcorn gif.
Oh, by the way, so she and I were messaging about some stuff, and then I made 2 very inappropriate jokes, and then I had to apologize. I was like, oh, I thought this was the group chat. I am sorry about that. So, I am a good person ish. Anyway.
I don't know if everyone would agree.
No, absolutely they would not. Most people I know would not. By the way, if you're listening to us at home, this is my best friends in the world. This is what I do. So now I'm in ring watch because somebody's getting a ring in the next 12 months. I don't know who it's going to be. It might be Katya, sub bet. It might be Roberto, or it might be somebody else. And then, or
might be Roberto.
It might be Rachel. So I don't know. We're gonna wait and see. Ring watch 2022. Courtroom drama.
All right, so courtroom drama. So Kyle Rittenhouse verdict came in.
Yes.
We had talked about it a couple times. Most notably last week when they were
let's analyze
in the middle of the trial.
He was on video shooting the people. He then posted on Snapchat that he shot some people, and then later on posted on TikTok that he was happy that he shot those people. So clearly, given all the evidence, guilty as charged, 2 first-degree murder convictions, and assault with a deadly weapon. I mean, he's never going to get out of jail.
No. So, you know what? You know what? Self-defense defense always sounds like to me.
What's that?
The officer who said, "I feared for my life."
Yeah.
Like, because all you have to do if you're a police officer is say, I feared for my life at some point prior to whatever the hell you did. And it's like, we can't, there's nothing we can do. I feared for my life. The woman was 80 years old in a wheelchair.
She was coming right
I
at
don't
me, man.
know
I
what
don't
she had
know.
on that wheelchair.
Have
I
you
don't
seen
know
Breaking Bad? There might have been a bomb on it. I don't know.
I seen Transformers. I know that things can do weird things. It's like, well, I guess that means you're innocent because we have nothing to say against that. We have to prove that you thought that right immediately prior to. Like, we have to get you like confessional
like,
style,
meow,
like
meow, 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 meow. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was a transformer.
confessional style, looking at camera, going like, "Man, I hate this woman. I'm a shooter." It's
Even
like,
then,
so when,
even then.
even then, they're gonna be, the jury's gonna come back like, well, in between making that video and shooting her, he did say, I feared for my life. So I mean, there's really nothing we can do.
Eric Andre show, like, pow. I was really fearing for my life. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. That was scary.
No, I mean, like, listen, I don't care. There will be, over the course of our lifetimes, from here and until eternity, times where the criminal justice system just can't keep up with something that it did not foresee. Like, somebody will get away with a crime that wasn't a crime. Like, they didn't know how to prove it as a crime. Like,
oh, the first virus, the first computer virus, where the guy, like, they couldn't charge him because there was no law on the books about what he did, so they tried to get him wire fraud.
I mean, I think we're the great American experiment is always about trying to, solve and correct. I don't think that, technically, yes, Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent and the jury found him to be so, and not a single charge stuck to him. And he is a free man to go on and make money on Tucker Carlson show or something like that.
He'll be a millionaire by spring for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like, at the same time, I just bring up the idea of, like, imagine I'm a friend of yours who calls you up and I'm in jail and I'm like looking to you to bail me out or something like that, or come help me.
That situation.
If I called you up and I said, and you were just like, what happened? I said, well, there's a bunch of protests happening in the state over. So I decided to drive over there. I had my mom drive me over there. And then once I got to that state, I came into possession of a firearm that by technicality is legal for me to carry in this state, even though I'm 17 years old, because there's a rule about how long the fucking nozzle of the gun can be.
Yep.
Anyway, when I was there, things were getting a little bit testy, and I feared for my life. And then I shot two people, and then a third, but two of them died. One of them, I mean, like, I guess he's okay.
Yeah.
I keep trying to call him and find out what's going on, but he doesn't want to answer my calls for whatever reason.
I went in and pulled the plug, but unfortunately it was not. It was just to the machine. It wasn't to the.
I think he's still a little frosty at me for whatever reason. But yeah, and then I, got away from the situation. Like, as soon as I killed enough people, like, people weren't trying to get me anymore. And then I walked right towards some police officers with my hands up in the air. They told me to go the fuck home. So I did, and I slept in my bed. But now I'm arrested, and I need you to bail me out. I think you would listen to that story and be like, dude, that's not cool what you did. Like, yeah, maybe not technically against the law specifically, because apparently you feared for your life. But
the fuck?
What the fuck? Like, it's like all the insurrectionists. Like, any other day I said I got arrested, and you said why, and I was like, I scaled the walls of the Capitol. You'd be like, well, yeah, that's why you're in jail. Like, clearly
that's what happens.
That's just, on a random Tuesday I scaled the walls of the Capitol. You're just like, well, yeah, that's a felony. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
so I want to correct two things from your story, Corey. Number one,
okay,
he wasn't arrested that night. In fact, it took weeks to arrest him. So in your theoretical, weeks later, you were arrested.
That's why I amended it with the went home and slept in my own bed. But
the second is, I really thought you were going to say at the very beginning of the story that maybe on occasion in the future the criminal justice system will work as intended rather than what we got, because I would just see this as being the worst parts of the system, except that's the system. That's how it works. Ahmaud Arbery case, final or closing arguments were made. It's going to the jury. The Charlottesville Unite the Right rally case, going to the jury, or at the jury, in the jury now. And I will bet you 2 of the 3 defendants at least, if not all 3, walk in Ahmaud Arbery's murder. And the Unite the Right rally will probably come back, but there will be some like distinctions. Like, we don't blame the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan of Columbus. We blame Chris the Crying Nazi Cantwell.
I think if I'm going to guess, I mean, I wish I didn't follow the evidence closely enough in the Ahmaud Arbery case to really judge what's going to happen there. So I don't know if there was some bullshit that I'm missing.
One of the guys testified. That's all you have to know.
I saw that. So
yeah.
I saw him being testifying with his attorney questioning him.
Yeah.
Where it made it seem like he was basically a deputy police officer with all the training he had gotten in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, guess what his defense is, if you have to guess.
That he was just trying to secure the the possible thief. Like, isn't that what they were saying Ahmaud Arbery was doing, was stealing things?
2 things. First is self-defense. He came at me and he grabbed my gun. So at that point, I feared for my life because I feared he would use it on me. So I used it on him. Mm-hmm. 2, the reason I was in that situation is I was making a valid and legal citizen's arrest by chasing a man in a truck while I hooped and hollered from the bed. So that's his defense. But because it's self-defense, he has to get on the stand because we have to get to like him feeling threatened and no one can testify to that. Smartly, the other 2 guys were like, nah, fuck no. You on your own on this one. But they have to worry about the essentially, like, if you even for a moment form a conspiracy, which is all 3 of you get in a truck to chase a guy down, and one of you shoots the guy to death, and it's not self-defense, and he's guilty, you're automatically guilty as well. So they're resting very hard on the self-defense thing.
Yeah. And you know what? I could see a world, given the history of judicial indignities that have plagued America since the beginning, that it would happen once again. I don't know how, as a jury, I know you're supposed to sort of compartmentalize, like, not everyone has to testify on their own behalf, and only one of the 3 of these people did. And the one who did, the one claiming self-defense, looked so well prepared when his attorney was questioning him.
Much different than the blood-covered, bearded guy that we saw the day of.
And then when the prosecutor was up there, basically tore him apart, and he was completely unprepared. What? He looked like he had really studied hard to memorize all the things that he had to say from his attorney.
And then you study hard for a test, meaning you got the answers in advance, so you wrote those down. Then you get a substitute day of, and you're like, oh, I don't actually know any of this. I just know the answers to the test.
Well, you do the test one day, and then the next day it's a pop quiz on the new stuff that we haven't discussed. You haven't gone over yet.
I am not ready for this. I'm sorry. Can I plead
just
the
freelancing
fifth?
out there?
Is it too late to plead the 5th? Can I do that?
Yeah. So I mean, like, with the Ahmaud Arbery thing, I think it's harder to claim self-defense when you're chasing them. Like, that's kind of, you're sort of I think the thing that sticks in the craw of so many people with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is just that it's like he kind of asked for it. Like,
he came
and that's
to the fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's you sort of lose your ability to like play the victim when you ask for it. I mean, like, I think of it like like a football game. Like last night, the Steeler fans overtook SoFi Stadium. There was a shit ton of Steeler fans, and there was no Charger fans. You feel comfortable in that kind of situation to cheer for the Steelers or something like that, you know? If it was a Steelers-Ravens game where the crowd is way closer to, 80-20 in favor of Ravens fans, and then you're a Steeler fan who's talking a lot of shit, you have to imagine before the night begins that if you're going to talk shit all night, you're probably going to get in a fist fight at some point.
You mean like
And the reason why is because you're asking for it. You're going there trying to taunt people and trying to get into fights because you want to get into a fight.
if you're an Orioles fan who drove to Detroit for the third game of a highly contested series and you sit in the outfield and you heckle the Detroit players while surrounded by Detroit fans, what you're saying is that person would have asked to get their ass kicked.
I mean, if you would have gotten your ass kicked, I think we all would have known why, you know? Like,
okay, fair enough. So the end result of this is Kyle Rittenhouse. Now I have to wish death on a child because
he's an adult now.
I mean, now he is
18 now.
Yeah, he will always be the, not innocent, but he'll be a child to me for his whole life. So
I just think the idolism of this age is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he can just be a kid who fucked up real bad, real bad. And because of the way that the laws are written, he's allowed to get away with it when under similar circumstances in a different time and place, that would be a crime.
Yep.
But he has to also become a hero to the people on the right as well, which I just don't like. Not every person who comes into your life needs to be the new hero of the moment. Like, yep. It's like we decided that there's never been a better sitcom character than Urkel, and now we're all about Urkel.
And
it's just like, well, eventually this is this fat is gonna fade. Like,
it'll never.
It's not gonna be.
You don't understand.
No, Urkel forever.
Yeah.
I got my Urkel tattoo. It's not going away.
Good to go.
Never gonna become not an Urkel person. I don't know why you would become a not an Urkel. What is so wrong with what Steve Urkel is doing?
He stands for everything I stand for.
Now, on the Unite the Right thing, though, I will say, I think what we might see with that is something we commonly see in these civil trials, which is like a stupid, ridiculous number that is going to get overturned. But like, it allows everyone to write a headline that Unite the Right organizers hit with $500 million judgment against them or something stupid like that, because they've already reported what they want. That, it's $5 million in compensatory damages and, another million in pain and suffering. And then there's going to be, like the part that the jury can just freelance on, where it's going to be fucking $500 million.
Yep.
And then it'll go to an appeal and they'll say like, well, nobody's really responsible for paying this. It's just sort of, we put it out there. It's actually all one guy's fault. And then he'll carry the bag and, like they'll jockey over what percentage of this ridiculous verdict, which will never be paid, will go to.
But hopefully by next week, we will have a result on the Ahmaud Arbery trial and on the Unite the Right rally like we did on Rittenhouse. And I'm sure I'll have things to say. But in the meantime, we're halfway through the show, so let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to you right after this. And we're back. How about that?
Magic.
Hey.
Moving on. COVID stuff.
Yes. Wait. COVID, it's over, Corey. I don't know why. We don't even need to be talking about this anymore.
Well, it is for me because I got a booster.
Well. I'll remind you, Corey. They said two
got a
shots.
booster, and I got the flu shot just for fun.
They said 2 shots was going to be enough, and now it's a booster shot. So we may be getting booster shots until forever. As South Park is likely to point out.
I also like how throughout the course of this pandemic, we said we were going to listen to medical people and do what they say, and then we didn't do that. Yeah. And then on top of that, we also took what they said and then come up with new things and then get mad at them. Like when the mRNA vaccine was originally developed, it was a 3-shot protocol.
Yeah.
And they figured out a way to do it in 2 shots for the COVID thing. And everyone was talking about get your 2 shots. And then people were asking like, oh, is there a chance there will be a booster? Because some people know that there was 3 shots traditionally in this sort of mRNA cocktail. And they said, we'll sort of see where it goes because we didn't know how it would react as a 2-shot vaccine. And now we're in the time where we're getting our 3rd shot. And there's some people who are just like, well, fuck that booster. I'm done getting shots. I already got the 2 that are responsible or required of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. To which I say, I guess you can make your own decision in that regard. I don't know why you wouldn't just get the 1 more shot.
I mean, Johnson & Johnson was 1, but it started out as 2. They got it down to 1, and now they're like, okay, by the way, wasn't
you definitely
as
need the second one.
You get a second one. Yeah, we're going to give you a second one. And they may come with a 3rd, and Moderna and Pfizer may have a 4th. The end result is how fake progressives. I mean, I don't want to rant because I'm going to make an Instagram video about fake progressives, but I am figuring out. I figured out who was an idiot in my life when Trump was elected. Also, who was a crazy white supremacist Nazi, essentially, a fascist. So I figured that out when Trump was president. And then I was like, well, maybe it was just Trump. Maybe everybody will be fine. And then they stormed the Capitol. So maybe not. But then some months passed, and I said, you know what? We're coming back to logic. We're all coming back around. We're one country. We're going to put it together. And then they're saying like, no, I'm not getting a COVID shot. I'm like, okay. But now it's the not the centrists, because the Biden Democrats are very much like, yeah, we'll get the 2nd shot. It's fine. It's the super progressives who are just like, no, enough's enough. They didn't put my green spending bill in the bill, so fuck them. I'm not getting another shot. I'm just like, how do you say I'm all about science, I'm all about medicine, I'm following the rules, and then go to Miami before you get your third shot? I do not understand it. Or go to Mexico and immediately come back to an office full of people, some of which have children. Anyway.
Apologies if you can hear a baby screaming, by the way. That's what's going to happen when there's a baby around.
I was wondering, I felt the milk pull down, and I was just thinking to myself, like, is there a baby crying somewhere?
Yeah, everyone go get your booster. It's fine. Now officially, because the FDA declared it so.
Yeah.
Everyone can get their booster. I literally was just waiting until originally I was told it was 10 months.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, well, in the middle of December, I'll get my booster. And I would have gotten it at any point, but I hadn't been told differently.
Yeah. And
now,
6.
Yeah. And, Newsom was just like on Twitter, like, everyone get your shot. It's cool now. Like, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll get it then.
Gavin Newsom, you don't get to tell me what's cool. All right.
Yeah,
you're not the one.
I got these pants with a hem. Is that cool enough for you kids?
But I am waiting. I think I could have snuck in and got a booster shot, but essentially, like, the spots are filling up with people who got their vaccine before me. So I feel like probably better if I wait till December and I let all these spots be taken by people who got earlier shots than me. And then, I mean, in due time, I'll close it up.
I will say, I think at this point, shots that are, sort of going to be used for boosters are sort of available. Like it's not like you're taking somebody else's shot.
Well,
So
side note to that is how widely available the original was. The only walk-up place in the city of Los Angeles has bank hours. It's like 10 to 3. And I'm just like, really? Only place I can walk up is only open in the middle of the work day. Well, yeah, because those are the unemployed people. Employed people have cars. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. It is Los Angeles. Who would not own a car in the city of Los Angeles?
you can walk into a pharmacy. Like I just went to a CVS. Like I didn't go to a. I mean, it was cool that I got my first COVID shots at Dodger Stadium. Like that's a neat thing to say. I get to tell people about that.
I was in Inglewood.
I was just at a CVS today. It wasn't anything fancy. It's down on Broadway, I guess. That's cool.
See, I thought you had to go with the same company that gave you the first two.
I mean, I thought so too, but apparently not. Like,
there was some woman outside of CVS begging, like, "Please get the booster. We have them. You want
we
one?"
have a booster today. I made an appointment. Well, then we don't have a booster for you. Sorry, get lost. Get out of here. I mean,
booster shots are good for everybody. Like, everybody go get them.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I really, any health, if you're worried about this for health, I think we're past the point where you have to worry about like some sort of thing happening where like 90% of people die from getting the vaccine or so. Like we would have sniffed that out by now.
There are no negative side effects. Wait, Corey, I think I have an update coming in. Hang on.
Yeah.
Boosters are great. Everyone should get one. Get two if you can get them. Both of them. Pay cash to the place. It's great. No side effects.
I like Jay in his stand-up special where he's just like, I was worried it didn't work because they were giving it away for free. So I like went to my doctor and I was like, I want to get vaccinated, but I want the one that costs $3,000. Because that way I know it'll work. It's like, what's the one you're giving to Rihanna? I want that one.
Rihanna's, yeah, absolutely. By the way, I believe Rihanna got Moderna, so just so you know.
Hey, look at us.
Yeah, Rihanna's. Yeah.
We're part of little stuff that boosts Rihanna, boosts us too.
Well, I was gonna say, what are Rihanna's fans called? Because it's like the bees are Beyonce's fans, and
isn't it like Riri or something? I don't know.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore. You're not allowed to say that anymore, Corey. That's not okay.
Why? Isn't that just their nickname?
Riri's?
What?
Riri's?
Yeah, like RHI.
Oh, see, you got to spell it out. I thought you were making some sort of derogatory term from middle school. Not okay.
I don't do that one anymore.
Listen, just because Rihanna's fans have an IQ below 70 does not mean you can paint them with a broad brush. All right.
Myself as a retard doesn't want to. I just wanted to see if I could get a reaction. There he is. The reaction I was looking for. No,
Also, so side note to this, the pandemic is not over. Now,
yeah,
us treating it like a pandemic is clearly over. I stopped to pick up some food on Saturday, and they did not even ask me about eating outside or inside. They immediately started seating me, and I was like, no, I'm just here to pick up food. I'm good. But not a mask in sight. I mean, like, the workers had masks on, but like the magic booth that keeps the COVID away, so we don't have to wear it in the booth. Like that's all. That's all. How we're doing it. But in some places that were arguably canaries in the coal mine for everyone else, Europe, they are seeing increasing numbers of cases and deaths, breakthrough cases, people who were vaccinated, but the state in some of these places is not paying for a booster shot. So again, the Michael Shea example, you have to go pay for it if you want the third one.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, you gave this to me for free. I didn't know there was going to be some sort of follow-up cost. And no, thank you. By the way, countries that have socialized medicine. So you're paying the like $10 copay that you would pay with your doctor's visit. That's it. That's all you got to pay. No, I'm not going to pay that.
There's a, the other thing that I'm finding very interesting is just the, I have a friend who has family in Brazil, right? And apparently one of the vaccines you can get in Brazil is okay to travel internationally, and the other one is not accepted.
AstraZeneca, you cannot travel with because some countries don't
Okay.
accept it.
Okay. Yeah. So, but the AstraZeneca is the one that everyone's got. Like, that's the only, like 99% of the people have it. So they're basically just stuck in Brazil.
Half the world didn't want it, so the poor countries got the AstraZeneca. So isn't that great?
And then there's also Sputnik, which is not being recognized by everyone.
The
Russian...
WHO does not recognize it, so I'm okay. I'm okay. Like AstraZeneca, the WHO is like, no, it's effective. It's probably more effective than Johnson & Johnson, but most of the countries are like, nope, we don't like this one. But the Russian one, the WHO is like, we're pretty sure it's just horse. What's it called? Vetromycin.
Ivermectin.
It's just ivermectin and saline. Like that's not a real thing. We don't accept that. So. Just like the Cuban and the Vietnamese versions also not accepted worldwide. You are essentially unvaccinated if you have either of those. So, or North Korea's, which is literally just river water. That's all they have. So, you've been drinking this water your whole life. You're fine. Don't worry about COVID.
It's just been filtered this time.
Yeah, we filtered it. We took out some of the bad. But Europe is now in the upswing. For those of you who don't know, winter comes to Europe sooner and then ends sooner. So, you know, a March day in Baltimore is going to be hit or miss, like 50s to 70s. But that's also because whoever controls Maryland weather is psycho.
It'll be hit or miss. It'll either be 15 degrees or it'll be 115 degrees.
But let's say March in New York was always, especially early March, was always cold. It's still winter. We could get snow at that point. But by March, most of Europe is in the throes of spring. Jet stream and the way that polar vortex works and all that stuff. They have earlier winter and then earlier spring. And by the way, all the ice melting into the Atlantic is going to kill that. So then like they will have a winter that lasts a long time, like most of the year. So thanks guys. Climate change conference. We didn't even talk about that. Oh, I guess we did. It sucked.
A little bit.
Yeah. But so they are now in the throes of winter, which is why they are a canary in the coal mine for us. Because it's like, oh, well, when it gets cold and things shut down, the cases just spike right back up again. But also, no boosters, or not a lot of boosters. So let's just say, everybody, go get your booster. And then if you don't live in gorgeous Southern California where I wore shorts to work in November 22nd, definitely get your booster. So that when you're inside, you're not poisoning your children. Not with the vaccine. I mean, with your breath and the virus.
With your potential breakthrough.
Yes.
I mean, also, you know, I feel like I need to tell people that vaccinations and boosters are not your fix to everything. So, like, I'm not saying you can't go to a sporting event or something like that, because I don't know what the parameters of your sporting events are.
SoFi was apparently like real bad to get in.
I went to an Orioles game. That's my only pandemic event that I've gone to. Yeah. It was at Oriole Park. There was like 400 people there. I felt pretty safe being double vaxxed at that point. Yeah. In that location, in an outdoor arena.
If it wasn't the Orioles, there would be more than 400 people there now. Now it's just because the team sucks. Not because COVID.
But I'm saying, like, you know, if you're at a college football game with 70,000 people who are all unmasked because there's no reason to, in Alabama or whatever, like I still think y'all should be a little bit more hesitant about what you do despite the vaccine status of you, you know, like the people at like concerts and they're like, I don't have to worry, I'm vaccinated. Like, it's just like,
yeah, I had two of my employees are USC grads who went to the USC game this weekend, and not a mask in sight on a single Instagram story. Apparently, according to one of the persons I spoke to from a safe distance of about 10 feet away, they got yelled at the gate and had to put it on as they crossed the gate, and then they immediately took it off and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
So, some laws are laughed at.
I like that I'm not allowed to bring cigarettes or a lighter into the Coliseum because I might actually end up smoking it at some point.
Yep.
But during the pandemic, I'm totally allowed to not wear my mask during most of the time I'm screaming in somebody's face.
Yeah.
It's just funny the things we choose to care about.
And I mean, I for one, I'd scheduled a European vacation because fuck it. I'm just tired of being the only one who's not doing stuff. Because I'm rich and I have money to do it. So I'm going. I don't have a baby. I don't have some life form sucking away my money and my youth. So, but big countries are closing down in Europe, and there's no telling whether they will be reopened by March. So the company that offered me the trip was like, well, we can redo your itinerary. And then if they do open up, you'll be able to go back to the same countries, or we can just postpone. And I was like, yeah, listen, just because Italy is a little more lax than Greece doesn't mean that I want to go to Italy and spend more time there. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means this country cares more than another one. So I postponed. But Kati and I are going on a cruise. I still feel like cruises are safe. It's totally fine. And Roberto, I mean, if he decides he wants to come along.
If he wants to come along. If he wants to take it.
Yeah. Listen, it'll be a 2-bedroom suite. It'll be totally on the up and up. Just don't see if both beds are unmade in the morning. That's all I'm saying.
Well, one of them you need to take all the things off for the chastity wall, so.
I got to bring Corey along on the cruise to set up the chastity wall. And you know what? Hopefully it works just as well as the first one did. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it has a 100% success rate.
Oh wait, did I never tell you that? Okay, yeah, sorry. Anyway, that's off topic. And I don't want to ruin the good name of any women. I'm not in the business of. I am not mayor of Cambridge. I'm not trying to.
Oh my God. Oh, we should have talked about it. We should have done a little Baltimore corner for some of the news that's been coming out.
It's like we don't have a Cambridge corner, but.
By the way, just a fun fact. I'll just do this one quickly. 300 murders in Baltimore again for this year. We're only mid-November. We already hit the target, so
maybe
congratulations, Brandon Scott.
It could be a very cold December, and it could only be like 302 or 303. All right, there might only be 3 murders the rest of the year. There've been 300 thus far, but
I feel like we've been a little bit slow recently because they've been shooting the Gun Trace Task Force HBO miniseries. So Baltimore's been on its best behavior, but now we can get back to murdering now that the production wrapped up and they're moving out. So
wait, I didn't realize you had even
come on, unsightly blights, let's come back out here.
Did you finish the script? I didn't even realize. Oh, congratulations. We didn't
No, it wasn't me. It was
okay.
David Simon, just some guy.
Well, listen, when I think of Baltimore
scripts, never heard of him, never did anything for Baltimore, don't know who he is.
When I think of Baltimore scripts, the one name that pops in my mind, Corey Baker. David Simon, I don't know that.
Thank you. There you go.
No idea.
Thank you.
But the one bit of national news that we should touch on this week is the parade event that happened, I guess, yesterday? Was it yesterday or was it Saturday?
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
Where a driver ran a barricade and then ran down like 50 people in a parade. And listen, I it's a small town in Wisconsin, I think. Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
I'm from a small town in Maryland. I get it. My small town shut down Main Street like, I don't know, 40 times a year to do a parade. It's like, oh, it's the Little League opening day parade. Oh, wasn't that last week? That was the Senior League opening day parade. This week, it's the Little League. And like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just take a 20-minute detour around the center of town.
Around the town.
Yeah. But at no point did I say, I want to hit my meth pipe and just run. I am not moving. This time, these guys are moving as they march away from me and don't see me coming.
I mean, so we should say that there's not a lot known specifically about why this gentleman took the actions that he did.
Allegedly smoked my meth pipe and allegedly got people down.
Yeah, I'm just saying, based off of the publicly available arrest record, which CNN has documented, amongst other media companies, you will see that there seems to be a narrative that would work from one point in his life up until now.
Yeah.
And that, obviously he has problems and demons that are far beyond the normal person. And, he's going to pay for what he did, like, in the form of a lot of years in jail. And it's just, it's really sad, and it really does, like, all the videos look kind of like not a small town, but like one of those like sort of developed small towns on
Denton.
the outskirts.
Denton.
Yeah, kind of Dentony a little bit. Yeah. uh and you see a video where like a car just whips by a girl who's like dancing with her shirt up a little bit, like a little girl, like, she's just in the street just doing a little dance, and
Yeah.
she's got her shirt pulled up so she can't see what's coming,
Yeah.
and a car just whisked right by her. But like, you teach kids, like, be careful around the road, except for now we have it closed for the parade, so you
You're
can
totally
go out.
fine. Yep. This is the only
you're,
time
you're
safe.
at Caroline County Summerfest, like, you can walk through the closed streets and enjoy conversation with friends and stuff. You wouldn't imagine that a car would come barreling down the road. It's amazing how quickly we trust like cones set up at the end of a street.
How much do I trust the idiocy of people in Denton? I cannot break the habit of, even during Summerfest, if I'm like walking from the pub down the street, I will still look both ways, because I'm like, some dummy might run this street. But I am also not a 4-year-old. I have not been told by someone I trust that it's safe and you're fine. I do have to say, hearing the case pop up, I was reminded, and I think I just did a quick search. I think it's Eddie Griffin's. If you remember who Eddie Griffin is, he was a comedian in the early aughts.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he got canceled. But his routine of like seeing a news story and being like, please be white, please be white, please be white. Like, because now the narrative of running down parade goers is going to turn into a both sides have done this. So
this is the problem that I feel like happens. We can hear about an event that happened in Wisconsin yesterday within record time. Like, you can find out about it, but you don't know why somebody did it or who they were or what happened. And like, it seemed like because of Kyle Rittenhouse, everyone thought that anything that possibly happened in Milwaukee or Wisconsin in the next 24 hours was something related to the case.
Right. Yeah.
Because I saw a whole bunch of people just randomly speculate that, like, oh, this must be some Kyle Rittenhouse person who's trying to get back or blah, blah, blah. Like, when we knew nothing, like, we still know, like, realistically, compared to what we will know about this case a year from now, we know nothing right now.
Yep. 100%.
So it sounds, it's unfair to speculate like what's going on, and like there's a reported history of meth use by this guy, the suspect, the person who's currently in custody. That doesn't mean that he's using drugs all the time. That doesn't mean he was on drugs at the moment.
Nope.
It would answer a lot of questions, but those are all things that will be determined throughout the course of a trial.
He could have his pregnant wife in the back of the car, and I can picture Corey in his electric vehicle with a Rachel screaming in his ear,
revving the engine out of control.
He's like, no. I used to skateboard. I can do the slaloms between all these people, and just try to do it. So you never know. You never know. Now, I don't think that's the case here. I think he probably he has a protective order against him and was released on bail. The gentleman they have in custody, released from jail on a very low bail, and may or may not have been at the woman's house who had the protective order against him, and then he quickly left that residence, and the incident happened on his way to wherever he was going.
I mean, we learned this from guns. The number one beacon that shows that you're probably going to be trouble at some point in the future is domestic violence claims against you. And the more likely it seems like you are going to be the type of person who shoots somebody in a movie theater or like,
but wait, though.
Just randomly gets in any kind of act of violence. Like,
we can't paint with a broad brush, because some people, as I stated earlier, date mentally deficient women who are insane and do things that
don't go down that
be
line.
Painting with a broad brush. That's all I'm saying. Is that just an accusation is different than a conviction? That's all I'm saying.
Well, I get it, but I'm also saying that, like, clearly this guy had like 8 of these charges on him, so perhaps we should paint with a little bit of a brush when certain things come out. Like
maybe more than 2. You get more than 2. Now I got some questions like what's going on.
I'm saying, 1, you're not getting the quickie background check on your gun. How about that? Like,
True. I'm fine with that. Yes, absolutely.
starting at 1, you get advanced background check.
So you mean it takes 7 days instead of 4? That's what you're saying. You get the extra 3-day background check.
They call another state. They call a neighboring state to find out whether or not you have any arrests in there.
You ever heard of this guy? What's his name? John
Hey,
Smith.
Pennsylvania. Have you ever heard of a Robert Cheek? He ever cause trouble up in your parts?
First of all, it'd be Delaware, and the phone has to be
They would expect it in
churned
Delaware.
first. In Delaware, they're like, we've been. Oh, what was it they said after the car incident? Like, oh yeah, we're familiar. Sorry, I meant Corey, your car incident where
I
you
know.
went to report it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the police officer looked up from his pen and pencil, or his pen and pad, and was like, oh, we're aware. Like, okay, that doesn't bode well. What do you know that I don't know?
But more than anything, I feel awful for all the people who are involved.
Yes.
In the people who've lost people who've been hurt. Especially during like a Christmas parade, which obviously, shouldn't have been happening because it was before Thanksgiving.
Also,
but,
yes, tragedy wouldn't have happened if you guys knew when to celebrate Christmas.
But like to think that you lose, that's always the word. I hate people who
Celebrate Thanksgiving.
When the news says like Rob died today, he was 2 months away from his 39th birthday. Like whatever. Like they were like they if they died like 5 days after their birthday, it's just 5 days ago he celebrated his birthday and now he's dead. Like they're always putting it in terms of how close to the birthday it is. And like some people, like if they die at a Christmas themed thing, like right before Christmas, it's just like it's ruined the whole season for me.
Yeah. And
I just feel awful for these people because now they're not going to be ever able to celebrate Christmas without thinking about the daughter that they lost, or the aunt who got run down. Like it's just.
Sidebar: are we 39 this year? Or are we 38 this year?
We're 38. We're 30. We're 37 this year.
Well, I mean, currently 37. Will be 38.
Currently 30. Will be 38.
Oh.
I keep getting confused because there was an entire year where I didn't tell anybody my age. So like it's like
nobody
I never
asked.
did the I never did the 36 year. So
also and
I feel like I'm an idiot because then people ask me how old I am and I like have to think. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 37, 38? No, wait, hold on.
Yeah, also, by the way, news, you can't report it like that when I have to ask myself how old I am. It's like, what do you do for his birthday? I don't know. I didn't really hear from him. I think he has a Twitch stream where he was just playing video games all day, really celebrating up the way that he wanted to. So. But, since we are out of the pandemic and nothing else matters, Corey wants to talk a little sports ball.
I'll make this super quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure the mic picked up my laughter from my.
It sure did. So just a couple things. First of all, Ravens check-in. We beat the Bears. Don't know exactly how that happened, but glad it did. Now we move on. Hopefully with Lamar feeling better here shortly.
Side note on that, have you gotten any Chicago news stories today?
Any Chicago news stories?
Yeah. So Google just seems to suggest anything the Ravens are referenced in, and I've gotten a bunch of stories about how this shows us how bad this Bears team really is. I'm like, wait, what? But I'm like, oh yeah, quarterback down, no running backs. Okay.
I used to enjoy. I kind of would like that. I guess if I could get those news stories from time to time, just because I used to like to listen to the opposing radio station when the Orioles would beat up on somebody. Like if the Orioles beat the Angels like 20-0, I would listen online to the Angels Sports Network and listen to the fans call up and be like, "This team sucks. I hate them. They lost the goddamn Orioles."
Two things that age your reference. One, the Orioles were a good team and they beat somebody 20-0. Two, you were listening to it on radio. Everybody's like, all right, Grandpa. Sure, yeah, I'm sure that was a good time.
It was radio on the internet, though. It was actually.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would be, if I was a Bears fan, I'd be fucking furiously pissed because it was just, they could have won that game, easily could have won that game. They had everything going their way, and their coach just gets right in the middle of it the way I've never seen anybody, like,
He rucks
Sometimes
he rucks in them.
not even that. Sometimes you see a coach make a bad decision, and you're just like, well, I can see how they think that would work out in their face. Like, like you at least can. It's like it's dumb, but at least I know how they did it. Like I don't agree with them, but I can see why you would call a timeout there. They called like a timeout on like, like right before a fourth down play, so they could like talk about it, right? And then they came out and then immediately false start, and then they punted. So they wasted the timeout for no good reason. Like they were thinking about whether or not they were going to go for it on 4th and 1 at the 50, which is, so it's like, if you're going to go for it.
If it worked out, he looks like a genius. If they get the first, no false start, he looks like a genius.
I just don't understand the, like, well, we're 5 yards back. Well, let's like we already burned a timeout. Why not just go for it? Like he like he lost his leverage, and then he decided not to do the thing that he was going to do anyway. Like I just don't, for the life of me, don't understand. At the very least, he could have gone up there and act like he was going to call a play and see if somebody on the defense jumped off sides.
Yeah.
Like, just that could have worked, but they didn't even try that. So I don't know. Like, I'm so I would be furious if I was a Bears fan, just because that coaching staff is awful. And you know what? The Ravens are not looking great, like amazing great, but somehow we're the second best team in the AFC.
Yeah, and AFC North looking a little weak this season.
Well, I mean, all the teams look good, like better. Like there's no Lions within the group.
The records look a little weak. I was expecting us to be, in third by now with a 6-3 record, but here we are.
I mean, I think the Steelers are old. Like Ben is old.
Yeah.
He looks really old out there, but somehow he is also the 15th best quarterback in the league still. Like,
wait. Are we counting Joe Flacco in that? Because the Jets have an elite quarterback. I just want to be sure he's in that ranking.
I mean, it's a week by week basis though. That's the problem. It's not Joe Flacco all the time.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Just this past week, yes, of course, Joe Flacco was the number 2 ranked quarterback on my board. All time great quarterbacks, right behind Trevor Siemian. But
yeah, of course.
And other, this last week was the week of the dead. They all came. Cam Newton's back and Trevor Siemian.
I wouldn't say Cam Newton's dead because he looked pretty alive.
No, I didn't mean dead like realistic, like really dead. I meant dead like like players who you haven't heard of in a long time doing anything. By the way, all of a sudden coming back and doing things.
Cam going back to Carolina is not to talk about my relationship for a third time. Every girl I've ever dated where I get nothing but like, you ain't shit. I don't need you. I'm doing real well in my life and I'm going to move on and be happy. And then like a month later, I get the like, hey, so how you doing?
Hey, so my new boyfriend, he tore his rotator cuff and he's out for the season. So
turns out I kind of miss you, and I was thinking maybe you just come and work out. We'll just see how it goes, and if we both feel comfortable with it,
I have all these drinks over here, and I'm not going to drink them all. So I thought
I'm sober, bitch. All right.
Maybe you want to come over and have a Chardonnay with me.
Ain't enough alcohol in the world to make me want to come over there, and then it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, you up?
I just feel like at the end of this football season, somebody's going to win. The story is going to be really great because all of them overcame some sort of adversity to get there. But I have no idea who it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the Ravens or not. This might be the year, if you are feeling froggy, to go to Vegas and just bet on some team that's like 30-1 to win.
I really hope it's the Ravens because I want to see that. Listen, they overcame their quarterback having COVID 7 times in 2 years, and yet here they are in the Super Bowl.
Twice. It's only twice. And, we never talked about it, but Aaron Rodgers lied, and I heard somebody say like, well, fucking Lamar's not vaccinated and he's gotten COVID twice. I'm just like, yes, but he told us to our face he's not vaccinated. Like he was just like, no, I'm not getting it.
Also, when he says he's immunized,
what am I gonna do to that? Like if he just says he doesn't want it, then I can't tell him to, like I can tell him to get it, but he doesn't have to listen to me. Like
and
Aaron Rodgers on the other hand,
and he's had it a couple of times. That immunizes you.
I don't get it. Especially you calling out cancel go like, oh, and then the woke mob came after me. I'm like, oh no, not the woke mob. Like they came at me for my consequences. And like,
well, here you are, consequences of my action that I should have
I just
predicted.
just imagine if we had that excuse, like going back, like John Rocker, like the woke mob is after me.
Listen,
After
they
I
threw
said that
batteries and beers at me. It's the woke mob.
After I talked about all the illegal immigrants on the subway speaking 90 different languages, and why don't you go back to where you lived? The woke mob came after me.
By the way,
It
don't
used to just
wish
be
Rocker has a Twitter. All right, we may end up hearing from him. I don't want to say anything.
good. Attack me, John Rocker. I look forward to the fight.
The 12
can't wait to
fans
get-
that you have will have heard of us.
I can't wait to get the voicemail from the three-toothed man who tells me all about how full of shit I am.
Wait, is your dad leaving voicemails now? Or
He's
I'm
got
just
4
kidding.
teeth.
I'm just kidding.
I know how
Mr.
many
Baker.
teeth he has. One last thing. This is super quick. Carlos Correa was on a Spanish-speaking podcast this week and inferred that Derek Jeter didn't deserve any of his Gold Gloves, which is a proven fact. He didn't deserve any of the Gold Gloves, but of course
He's out of
that
line, but
statement-
he's right.
that statement came from Carlos Correa, who doesn't deserve the World Series that he got because he did. I'm like, fucking all of a sudden out of nowhere, we get this gift news cycle of people slamming Derek Jeter with all. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame at this point. Every Yankee fan who's butthurt about me talking about how he can't play defense, like, it's not going to take away the Hall of Fame. It's not going to take away the World Series. It's not going to take away any of that shit. Like, it's just me saying that Derek Jeter was a terrible defensive shortstop, which is true because you could watch another shortstop in the same game and see whether or not like it was there. It's amazing how literally no matter who was out there, like as a shortstop on the other team,
Look like an all-star.
looks like an all-star compared to Derek Jeter.
And I was going to say, listen, there's no consequences as shown by the fact that Carlos Correa is still playing baseball after cheating his way to a World Series. All right? Nothing can be taken away. It's all locked in. The rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Just like here's where the story goes in the next week. Pete Rose gets involved. I'm just like, motherfucker, you are not. Why are you here? What did you?
Okay, so first of all,
Why do you feel like you are the last honest man?
He honestly, what my argument if I'm Pete Rose is like, listen, Correa is still playing baseball. Jeter's in the Hall of Fame. The fuck, guys? I can't throw me a bone. Just put me on the ballot. See what happens. I'm all saying.
You know what's funny about the whole Pete Rose thing? It's like Pete Rose, the Giamatti was the commissioner, and he seemed to want to be forgive and forget about it.
Paul Giamatti or
no, Bart Giamatti.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Fuck, I can't remember the name of the commissioner right after him. But anyway, Giamatti died, and the commissioner who followed, Faye Vincent, did not think of Rose in the same terms. So Rose thought like he was just going to like have his like bullshit little punishment for a little while, and then eventually he was going to be welcomed back into baseball because Giamatti was all about him. And then all of a sudden he dies, and Faye Vincent's like, no, you're done. You're done from the league forever. Never want to hear your face again. It's like Michael Flynn. Like he goes to jail. He's like, oh no, don't worry. Trump will pardon me. I just have to spend a little bit of time in jail to make it seem like I learned something. Yeah. And then Trump will pardon me. And then Trump chokes on a hot dog, and Pence is Pence is president now. And Flynn's like walking up going like, hey, you know, the other guy wanted to pardon me. So how about it?
Mother
was like, no.
Mother says it's not good to be pardoning people. So I'm not going to be pardoning anyone.
You broke the law. It's right here. It's in English.
Listen,
so, yeah.
I think you're giving Mike Pence too much credit because he, didn't invalidate the vote.
So here's my favorite part about the Jeter Correa thing. And, it's people are saying this is Derek Jeter's inherent classiness, which we've talked about before. He's so classy, he ain't even going to talk about it. The other thing he didn't do is stand up for himself at home. There is a way. I think most successful people, this will be surprising to people. Most successful people, if you called them out directly to their face, they would crumble because it's deep within them. They fear that like somebody's going to call them out.
Imposter syndrome. We all have it.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. So you think like, like, oh, fucking Post Malone, he can take anything I say. You walk up to him and you're just like, you're the worst artist that's ever existed. And then he just like, walks by and shrugs it off. But then he goes into his limo later and he's just like, maybe I am the worst fucking artist ever. Like,
this is why Corey can never be.
Maybe I've been discovered. Maybe people have figured it out. Now this is the end. Derek Jeter kind of answers that question like, I don't want to defend myself because maybe people have figured me out. I don't want to look like I'm unaware of this. So that's my favorite part. Watch it in the sense that Derek Jeter has just been discovered. Yeah. Like Derek Jeter realizes that people have figured him out. And then he's answering that question like, well, I mean, like, I don't think I have to say anything about that, do I? Like, that's the best way to read his retort. I mean,
so
also, I will leave that to you.
Just a note to Derek. The best clapback, as shown throughout history, is for you to lean forward to the mic and be like, Carlos who? Not aware of this name, sorry. Astros?
Wait, you mean the
Astros are good? The cheating Astros, right? Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I couldn't hear it over the sound of somebody banging a trash can loudly off in the distance.
Sorry, my rings were clanking together and it muted everything else in the world. Sorry. What was that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My 4 World Series rings have grown heavy and I must retire to the bedroom for a while. Again, I don't care other than the fact that people, you remember the whole conversation we talked about Joe Flacco being elite before.
Yeah.
You know why Joe Flacco wasn't elite? Because at no point did he have a wide receiver who you would describe as elite. At no point did he have like a number 1 with a bullet wide receiver.
Also genetics.
If he did,
but yeah, sure.
No, but he also had like 8 different offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
His first 8 years in the league. He everything was going against him that he couldn't get an honest shot to look great. If Joe Flacco went to the Steelers and had Ben Roethlisberger's career instead, he would still be playing right now. He would still have the opportunity to be throwing to these Pro Bowl wide receivers every single year.
I don't know about all that because Ben's got those knees where the strength is built up from holding women down in bathrooms. So I don't know if Joe's got the same.
Joe's also got the neck problem from carrying around that great head of hair of his. But if Joe Flacco went to the Steelers, he would have Ben's career. Like they weren't very different quarterback. It's not like Ben Roethlisberger has something inside of him that's super intrinsically more valuable than Joe. It's opportunity. Derek Jeter becomes famous because he hits a home run for the Yankees in the playoffs. Aaron Boone did that. That was literally the only thing he ever did in his entire career. And now he's managing the Yankees.
Oh, that's also
one big home run in the playoffs sometimes is all it takes to take your career from just some guy who plays for your team to a legend of baseball history.
Okay, so
Derek Jeter did that. He hit home runs in his first playoffs, and he was beloved in New York for it, and they won a World Series. And then he's one of the biggest stars in Major League Baseball. If he played for the Royals or the Padres, he would have been eventually moved to second base because he couldn't hit, and then eventually he would be moved to an American League team where he'd be at DH. And if he was, a 300 hitter that didn't get to 3,000 hits because he didn't play long enough, and didn't get to enough home runs because he didn't play long enough, didn't win any Gold Gloves because he wasn't a Yankee, would he be a Hall of Famer if he got drafted by the Padres and then did the last couple of years as a DH for the Royals? Like, it's not the same thing. Like,
so I'm putting together a plan in my head.
Okay.
We build a time machine. We go back
and fix all these things.
Or 96, 95. And just before the Orioles-Yankees game, we give the old Nancy Kerrigan to Derek Jeter. And then for good measure, we find that little shit Jeff, and we just kick his ass in the parking lot and tell him never to come back to a game. Is it Jeff? Jeffrey? Jeff?
Yeah, Jeffrey Mayer.
Jeffrey Mayer. Yeah, we find him, and he'll be like 12 at the time. So it'll feel weird, but I just want you to channel your inner 12-year-old. After we've, done an armed assault on Derek Jeter in the locker room.
You know what I'm gonna do instead?
Yeah.
I'm going to when he goes up towards the fence to try and get it when I go back in time for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to lift him so that he goes over the edge and falls onto the field. And then the home run will not have gone into the we'll see not only him on the field, but the home run hit off the wall
in his glove
and not be a home run.
Yeah.
Like it'll be so clear to everyone there because it didn't actually physically leave the ballpark that it wasn't a home run.
Also, possibly he'll break.
And
his
then
neck.
Derek Jeter's whole career is gone. Like that's it. He didn't hit that home run. Now he's just a mere mortal. He's Chris Gomez.
But wait, the butterfly effect. Jeffrey Mayer breaks his neck on the way down, and then there's no January 6th uprising. It just Trump never happens.
It sounds like it's getting better and better to me.
Tony Tarasco runs for governor of Maryland, wins because he's the hero of the playoffs, and then he runs for president in 2016. And now we have Tony Tarasco, 2-term president in 2021.
People are thanking Tony for random inconveniences in their life. All right, well, I think we've done
stickers
enough.
of Tony Tarasco at the gas pump saying like, "I did that." Like, yeah, that's cool.
You want to know a website that is always appreciating Tony Tarasco?
Where's that?
TheAnthem.com, coordinated TheAnthem.com, The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. You can find me not at my website at the moment, still working. By the way, question for you: Do you know a website company that allows you to do like interactive lists? Because like that seems to be the one design idea I have that I can't seem to translate to any of these website builders.
Have you tried Squarespace? Squarespace is the perfect place for your website.
No, I haven't. Maybe if they gave us a little bit of cheddar, I would try it.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't have to actually, pay for it. So.
make a Squarespace website. Yeah, I guess so.
Try WordPress.
In the meantime, Facebook.com/Corey Baker Film, at Legends Be Vive on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And taking care of a baby. That's all I got going on right now.
Wait, you said you're taking care of a baby, but I heard a screaming baby in the background. Where? Who?
Yeah, but now she's not anymore, so clearly she's been taken care of.
Wait, like taken care of, or
no, like loved and
okay,
loved and taken care of,
Okay, all right. I thought maybe Roberto arrived home early from his trip. I'm gonna be very excited when he listens to this episode in like 6 months.
Dude, what the fuck?
6 months from now, just like, yo, 398. The fuck? Like, wait, what are we talking about? 398? Oh yeah. Sorry.
We'll be like, which episode was that again?
Anyway, you can find more of me at Robert and Cheek and all your social networks. RobertandCheek.com. You can find links to all the stuff I'm working on. And of course, the thing I'm working on most, twitch.tv/Robert and Cheek, where you can find me streaming Call of Duty Vanguard and maybe some Black Ops Cold War, maybe some Modern Warfare this week. Especially because it's Thanksgiving week, which means while everyone else is, celebrating family and all those things, I will be playing Call of Duty and then going to Target for 2 hours and then coming back and playing more Call of Duty. So I'm Koukurious, ANKOUKERYS on Activision and Robert and Cheek on PlayStation. Come play with me. It'll be great.
Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem Digital Network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
Fuck you, Derek Jeter. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't never been shit.
I was going to throw in something else for Roberto, but it's okay. I'll tell him in person.